Alabama, which happens to have the highest death rate from coronavirus in the United States, is planning to use federally provided coronavirus relief funds to construct prisons. Yeah. By the way, Alabama happens to be one of the states that ended unemployment benefits because of COVID earlier than they were supposed to. Because why would they use that money to help people in their state when they could use it to imprison people in their state? Alabama lawmakers began a special session on a $1.3 billion construction plan that would use federal pandemic relief funds to pay part of the cost of building massive new lockups. Governor Kay Ivey has touted the plan to build 3 new prisons and renovate others as a partial solution to the state's longstanding troubles in its prison system. Now, there's the physical infrastructure of these prisons. I mean, you could maybe stop criminalizing people to the extent that we're criminalizing people, so you wouldn't need to build 3 new prisons. But the physical infrastructure of the prisons, that's one thing. Doesn't solve the other problem they have, which is understaffing, corruption, all these other issues that you really can't fix by throwing COVID relief funds at.
Yeah.
The proposal would tap up to $400 million from the state's share of American Rescue Plan funds to help pay for the construction. And honestly, the way that the coronavirus relief bill was written makes it honestly available for Alabama to use in this way. I mean, they could make a case based on the way the law was written, based on the way the bill was written, that the funds could be used for these prisons. And that's really a huge problem in the way that legislation gets written up in this country. But John, I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, look, I really like to mash up a couple different stories that you've talked about recently. You have Alabama taking this money that theoretically could go to helping people, but instead they're just gonna set up for more incarceration, which seems insane in the midst of the COVID situation in Alabama, the economic situation in Alabama. But I have no doubt many Republican voters will love that they're gonna be doing that because they've been trained to think that you can never have enough bombs and you can never have enough prisons. The unemployment issue and the Matt Walsh story. Because there are Republicans that are suffering, that need unemployment aid, that are going to get sick and die of COVID. They have actual problems. And the fake right-wing populists will allude to those problems, but what they give them is the trans hate. And what they give them is fear-mongering about immigrants and fear-mongering about everyone. Just hate and desire for people to be locked up. Believe that that is the solution to all of your problems. We will never deliver for your economic problems. If you lose your job, you are, I almost swore, you're out of luck. If you get COVID, if you don't have health insurance, you are very much out of luck. But the right doesn't actually, that should horrify them. It shouldn't work as a political strategy, but they have bought so much into the anti-trans nonsense, and that's just an example of the culture stuff, or the sort of white identity libertarian take on dealing with COVID, that they ignore all of that stuff. And so this is what they get from their Republican leadership. No aid in all of the areas where they need it, and say that they need it. They will never get that assistance under these Republicans, but the Republicans can string them along for literally decades.
No, you're absolutely right. And the politics of fear and hate, it's been around forever. It's the perfect way to distract people, right, who are understandably frustrated, understandably angry. They're looking at their lives, they're looking at the precarious situation in which they're living, and they're frustrated, they're angry. And what these people do, right, what the right wing in America does is direct that frustration, that anger toward hating the powerless, toward hating people who are different than them. And it's the perfect way to distract people, right? Because otherwise, what would they be focusing on? The fact that we live in a corrupt political system, the fact that we're imprisoning all sorts of non-violent offenders who then become hardened criminals because of how awful our prison system is. It doesn't actually lead to people being rehabilitated. It increases recidivism because of how awful the system is. And that's what they want. That's where our taxpayer money goes.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.